aka Powders, we have a lot to review here. But before we get any further, can you say hello to Crypt? Leave Crypt a hello in the comments. Come on, guys. We love Crypt here. Cyberforce Origins Striker 2. Let's just note that Cyberforce Origins was 3 issues. Issue 1 focused on Impact. Issue 2 focused on Stryker. Issue 3 focused on Sideblade. These are not interconnecting issues. They are one-off, solo, one-shots, but they're numbered, so we can kind of keep track. And also, look, if you want to see like some of the predictive nature of what the 90s were, the attention everything got, how they knew what to sell, Cyberforce Origins, right? Later, we get Wolverine Origins as a movie, like X-Men Origins as a movie. During this time, they were flirting even with Magneto Origins movie. You would read about that in the press all the time. Yeah, I'm going ahead a few years, but there's influence everywhere. Can you come up with an idea like that on your own separate? Sure. Is it fun to kind of say, hey, potentially, maybe Hollywood was inspired by the title of this comic? I just want to note the art team real quick. Randy Queen and Michael Turner. Here's the amazing thing. And we're getting into comic book drama. Let me grab a marker. Both of these guys, okay, they were poached by Rob Liefeld, okay? Rob effectively gets Randy Queen. He wins the Randy Queen poach. He wins that argument. Because Randy Queen creates a book called Dark Child. Dark Child is to be published with Rob Liefeld's Maximum Press. Maximum Press was Rob Liefeld's company book rebranding of Extreme Studios after he was kicked out of Image Comics. Why did Rob Liefeld get kicked out of Image Comics? Because he tried to poach Michael Turner and failed, and created his own domino effect where Top Cow even left the company, came back. Image Comics made a choice. We want Marc Silvestri. We want Top Cow Productions because they're productive. They get books done. They get them done on time. They get them out. They make our distributors and the retailers happy. So Rob Liefeld was removed. A lot of drama. Rob Liefeld on his Robservations podcast, he retcons this. But before we get into the book, guys, do you like Star Wars? Do you like Clone Wars? Are you into Attack of the Clones? Do you like this stuff? I'm not previewing upcoming content. Well, maybe we should do this book, because this is another banger. But this book here is Attack of the Clones. And it's a little bit confusing. And it takes a couple rereads. I've reread this a few times. If you're familiar with the Cyberforce trade paperback, we got our first glimpse of Stryker's origin here as a backup story. And I love the way how Silvestri illustrates this. But we get a glimpse of the operation. Boom. That's all it takes. Takes a couple panels. Takes some time. But you get yourself a Stryker with 3 cybernetic arms and one half of a cybernetic face. Stryker is somewhat positioned to be the center of what we like to call the Top Cow universe, or the Top Cow cyber universe. Mega Heroes, The Ultimate Encounter, Cyberforce, Battle Striker, Buzz Cut, 2-pack by Mattel, NBC, and Top Cow Productions. These were made because there was an animated series that was greenlit. They were in the storyboarding, scripting phase. Animation studio got bought out and they killed all non-Marvel projects. I think this is great that these two are paired together because our story opens with Buzzcut. And Buzzcut gets rescued. And I really love the way how this is illustrated and colored. But Buzzcut gets rescued from this prison. And we see that he's emotional. He gets like a little sad. But look at the coloring. The heroes of this issue really are. I mean, the coloring team is this. Okay, and this just costs nothing but money. Right? We really have to say, and guys, I'm just guesstimating right now, just based on other things I heard. Like, what's the budget for an issue like this? Is it, I would say the budget is between 50 and 60K spent per issue. That's how much it takes to produce what we're about to look at during this time. Just with digital outputting alone. These are all salaries, right? Like this is salary here. So you kind of divide what they get monthly into the amount of books that they put out that month, or they even worked on that month, and you can kind of get a dollar amount, you know, to what everyone's kind of what the company's spending on these names to produce this. But I love the green panels here. I think we just separate that something different is happening. The green helicopter and the green interior, I don't know why. It just works. It's very comic book. But it gets confusing because we jump into flashbacks. And you guys know we have to tag our panels. So we don't tag our panels here in hue, in coloring, or anything. Should these be colored different? Because we're in the flashback. Stryker shows up, you know, to a dirty city. And look at Brainy Queen. Look at Mr. Queen here drawing cars, cities, environments. But we don't get the sense that he's walking into the past. He's foggy. He's getting memories. We have a reference here. Black crack right here. We have a reference here. What's he talking about? Well, we have no indicator. But Black Crack was somewhat of a Cyberforce 3-issue storyline where they're in like Guatemala and they deal with drug trafficking. And these guys, the huntsmen, are, you know, they're not Native Americans, they're South Americans. And the drug trade is disparaging to their country and countrymen. So they're there to stop it. But essentially, right, because they team up at the end. And, you know, Timmy kind of gets abducted. We don't know if he's the real Timmy or not, as you can tell with that panel. But this is what's it? It's like 6, 7, and 8. Or no. It's 5, 6, and 7. That's like your Black Crack trilogy in Cyberforce. And I want to note that Stryker, though, is also, you know, like he's kind of like, here's Cyberforce issue 4 with the foil. Stryker is the focal point of the franchise. He gets his own book too, codenamed Strikeforce. Again, focal point. The book gets rebooted, you know, Strikeforce, focal point. I mean, he's pivotal to the history of Top Cow. Ripclaw, this guy over here, he kind of becomes, you know, he works. They set him up as a Wolverine. And he, you know, we even see on the back of the trade paperback, right here. Right, like we get Stryker front and center. Selling point. But Ripclaw is the one we focus on. And Ripclaw has had more of the character arc, character expansions. He's had 2 crossovers focused on him. He's appeared in Stormwatch issue 8. So this is what I feel like is a bid to find out, like, what origins, what people really care about when it comes to Cyberforce. So Cyberforce Origins, it doesn't answer questions fans wanted to know. I really feel like this is testing the market and giving some new talent time to breathe and develop. And both of these guys, Rainy Queen and Michael Turner, and guys, big shout out to the D-Tron and Aaron Sold. These guys do a great job inking. These guys, the two art styles meld together perfectly. But what we need here, though, guys, you know, like, why don't we have some wiggly panels to help us to know that this is a flashback? Because we see STRYKER here. He fights off these bikers. And look, doesn't that already look different? But STRYKER fights off a couple bikers. We see that he has regular forearms because he's a mutant. The Cyberforce universe is a mutant-driven universe corrupted by a company called Cyberdata, and they cybernetically implant all these things and create all this havoc and create our heroes and villains. But he stands up for a girl. He shows up here because someone told him to meet him there because he's looking for someone. He mentions, my brain hasn't been the same since Fabio Rivas pumped me full of black crack down in Guatemala a few months ago. So that's, you know, again, we will have to read issues of Cyberforce for that. But we see STRYKER, and STRYKER's, like, he has the best lines. He's like Stallone in Cobra in this. Teachers who don't know what the F they're talking about got any more teachers here, and you see he's like ready. He's ready to fight everyone. Guys, the coloring, the coloring. Look at the coloring, the highlights. We look the yellow highlights here. So, but again here, like, we're in a flashback, so we kind of have to do. We should be doing this. This is just simple stuff. And here too, see, like, we're still in a flashback. It's just confusing, guys. And call me crazy. Call me crazy for doing this. There you go. Welcome to flashback panels. But we see he's outside the bar. Are you Morgan Stryker? Yes, I'm Farrah Perkins. So he knows this girl a little bit. We get buzz cut here. Now, see, like, we're flashing forwards and backwards and sideways. But guys, look at this lens flare. I hate lens flares, but I do like the blur. I kind of, you know, that just looks cool, like blurring the helicopter in the clouds. But buzz cut gets dropped off, and we kind of see that Ballistic is here. Now, we've long been searching for when she's the Code Red action figure set here. We've long been. Ballistic is just always advertised with the team. She has yet to join the team, but now she's, you know, she was with STRYKER in Guatemala, and now she's in the city, and they're rescuing Buzzcut. What are they up to? And we kind of see, we kind of see that Buzzcut has these other, like, henchmen here, but they kind of look like him. They kind of don't. We're going to get into that because, you know, striking similarities. Clone Saga. So STRYKER with the girl, with Farrah Perkins, they end up back at her room. She's got to change. She's like, hey, thanks, I have to get out of these wet clothes. They go back and forth about the exchange of trying to track down her sister, Sarah. And then on the news, we get all the Buzzcut info. And guys, holy crap, look at this ad for Weapon Zero. Holy moly. Guys, this is a boner here. This is a boner. And then we get this flashback. We see Buzzcut in Vietnam. Buzzcut, somehow there was a Vietnam unit in Da Nang where Buzzcut with his 3 arms and STRYKER with his 3 arms. Well, they're part of the same Vietnam unit, and he's crazy because if you ever seen, what's that? Casualties of War with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn, right? So it's a Casualties of War moment. They fight. He tries to save people from the village. And then we end up back at the warehouse, and he's like, this smells like a trap. And she's like, yeah, but we have to go find my sister. So they walk in. As soon as they walk in, he's like, nothing on infrared. And somehow, like here, right, guys? Like here. Like somehow here, you know, like we have Buzzcut here. So like Buzzcut is kind of like here. Like he's like hiding. right? With his multiple arms. Like, but he's hiding underneath. And then, boom. He shoots up. Stryker, dodges. Guys, great. I mean, really nice illustration here by Rainy Queen. Because he uses... You can tell that Queen thought about this. Because he does a couple poses of this where Stryker uses all four arms in action pose. Here, right, he's jumping over the buzzsaw. He's got two guns fixed on Buzzcut, and he shreds the mask off. Are we killing the mystery of the character? We are. We are. But we see that Buzzcut's just like a human. We kind of knew that in the beginning. But, yeah, this panel isn't exactly clear to what happens. But, but he's human. We get a little bit of a flashback. Again, would be nice. Even though this is nice, it's brown, so we know it's a flashback. But, again, a nicely illustrated 2-page spread by Rainy Queen. And then we get the girls, we get Ballistic here, and we get her potential clone. So we do a flashback, and we find out that Stryker gets nuked. Buzzcut kind of is like, hey guys, let's just move on. But the medics come just in time, and he's getting taken away by Rhinebeck, okay? He later kills Rhinebeck. These girls are these two girls, but it's not said here, and we don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know why they're there. So this is a page where I only assume that if we go into something like Photoshop, we have layers, right? We have layers. And, usually on the top, you have your ink layer, which is your black lines, but then you color underneath. That's how, that's how we do computer coloring, Photoshop. For here, I would maybe say, but accidentally, the ink layer ended up here, underneath, which is why we have a very odd, ghosting. Or the output could be CMYK RGB. Red, green, blue. The output could be, and the printer's we want CMYK. The output could be different for this page alone. It could have been RGB or CMYK. Those are my two guesses as to why we have this odd looking page. But either way, we see that it's not Rhinebeck now. It's his son. Because the father saved Stryker when he was nuked. The father and the son is basically the one. And now we're here with another flashback. But the son basically continues the experiments of the father. And we kind of ended here where Stryker grabs him by the throat. Because we learn that right here, these two guys are clones. They're clones. So this would be Stryker 2 or Stryker 1. But he's we got spare parts here. He's no. I don't like the clone thing. And then we jump back to modern day and Ballistic and what we feel is her cloned sister that they were kind of looking for. Not quite clear. But now we're in a clone laboratory. And we kind of see the son, the Rhinebeck son, and what we think is clones of Buzzcut. But the girls fight. Ballistic helps save Stryker again now because she also saved him in Guatemala for a second time. But they fight their way out. Here, how's that habit you used to have? You mean the one I've been trying to kick? That's the one. Guys, this is why we love 90s comics. We get great one-liners. But yeah, so they fight. They kill all the clones of Buzzsaw. The Ballistic girl clone, one of them, gets killed by the crazy scientist's son, the one that saved Stryker and did the initial experiments. And then Buzzcut helps them. Like they escape with Buzzcut, and Buzzcut somehow disappears between the last 2 pages. Like we all know where is like Buzzcut's gone, but he should really just be like here in like the background with his like saw. He should just be here in the background. But he's not. Like he should still be here, like just hanging out. Like, hey guys, like Buzzcut here. Check out my arms. So we wrap it up. We wrap it up with the Buzzcut clones getting killed, the evil doctor getting killed, the clone laboratory getting blown up, Buzzcut and STRYKER somewhat being clones of one another, but sharing DNA, and just knowing that there's now potentially like multiple STRYKER clones, right? Like multiple STRYKER clones. There's potentially multiple ballistic clones, and then there's also multiple Buzzcut clones potentially out in the wild. And we wrap it up. So what is the origin of STRYKER? Well, STRYKER's origin is he got blown up in Vietnam. They experimented on him. He was born a mutant. Right, he was born with the multiple arms, as was Buzzcut. All questions answered. Which is, I think it's super cool though that they packaged the 2 of them together with the Mega Heroes action figure line. It has to be noted too that they are also trying to build up the ballistic name. There's 2 statues associated with this action figure line that were sold in KB Toys and discount outlets. The 2 statues are, there's one ballistic and there was one STRYKER. But, you know, again, like ballistic just doesn't quite join the team. It would have been nice if this issue was all Vietnam. I think it would have been fantastic. And he goes through the operation and we learn about the cloning, whatever. Throw in some clones. What they do here that I don't like is they close the gap. That's what I call, like, it's something I realized when I watched G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, where Duke, the Baroness, like everyone's like a little too connected. We have to separate our characters. So it's like STRYKER should not be associated with Buzzcut at all. At this point in the stories and in continuity, we accepted Buzzcut as just, you know, like a cool looking killer, just a sociopath. And you demystify that, and I get it. You try and add nuance, but this is where, again, like the jobs of David Wall here, like David Wall really, like we just gotta take him out. Like he effed up here, because he should have really stepped in and been like, guys, yeah, he should have went right back to Eric Silvestri and been like, look, we need like another angle for this, because we're going to demystify one of our cooler looking villains. Because even like this, guys, like this image, like we don't want this interrupted. But hey, Top Cow Tuesday for you.